All right, so here's the real question. What are you doing when you don't have the brothers around? What are you doing when you can't be around the brotherhood? So what are you doing when you're sitting inside your own room? You inside your own house by yourself. Nobody around. What are you doing when you're shopping, when you're out by yourself? What are you doing? This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13. And this is verse 5 right here. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua is in you, except ye be reprobates. But I trust that ye should know that we are not reprobates. Now I pray to Yahushua that ye do no evil. Not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates. Shalom to the whole for elect out there. Shalom to the whole 144,000, Lord willing. I'm part of that grateful, glorious number, giving all praise Yahweh Shah. And like I have already titled it, what are you doing when you are not around brothers? That's the real question. What are you doing when you are not around brothers? You know, because, you know, this is a hard battle that we out here fighting, you know, because we have to get up every morning. Our mental state got to be right. Our spirit got to be right. Our emotions got to be right. Because there's a lot of wicked spirits out there. Y'all see all these people out here? It's just wickedness. It's wickedness in the air. And that shit has reached the heavens. And it's going to get worse. But what are you doing when you are not around brothers? When you're not able to be around all that energy? You got to keep your own self right. And even when you're not around brothers, are you still doing right? And I understand, you know, that we're in these mortal bodies, so we're going to make mistakes. Yes. But like it says here, now I pray to Yahweh that ye do no evil. So are you out there being genuine about Yahweh Bashian Shai? Are you out there trying to follow the law, statutes, and commandments and actually wear it, you know, and actually trying to show that light? Or are you just in this because, oh, yeah, you know, just a fad, you know, hey, bro, it sound dope. You know, you just want to wear all the fringes and, you know, you just want to be live on YouTube. It just look cool to you. Or are you about this, like I was saying? We got to examine ourselves, you know, because you can put on in front of people. Hey, but Yahweh Shai, he know everything about you. He know everything about you. You know, you don't want to be one of those that's been in this truth for a long, long time, you know, and then when it's time to go out there, you know, when Jacob's trouble pops off, you know, and then, you know, Yahweh Shai, you know, he's getting ready to gather his people. You don't want to be one of those that gets left. I mean, I'll be fucked up if you've been in this truth for a long time, long time. I'm talking about 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Been in this truth, and then you don't make it. Hey, but Yahweh Shai, he could do that anyway, because that's the fear of Yahweh Shai. You know, you could be in this thing, and he can still take that spirit off of you. And you just won't be chosen. That's a scary feeling. That's a scary thing just thinking about that, you know. And that's why I made this video. That's why I'm glad that Yahweh Shah, he put this on my spirit to go and do this video, man, because there's a lot of wolves out there. You know, and we already know people like to smile inside your face and portray themselves one certain way. You know, you got to watch out. You got to really watch out. But at the same time, you know, we got to examine our own selves, because we could be our own worst enemy. We could be our own worst enemy, man. You know, because we don't want people knowing how we really are. We don't want to, you know, face our own shortcomings. We don't want to be honest with our own self. And what does it say here? But that ye should do that which is honest. You should be honest with your own self. Because once this thing pops off, once the great white throne judgment comes, ain't no turning back, man. You can't correct that. You correct what you need to correct now. Ask Yahweh Bashem Shai. If there's things that you need to correct, you know that there's things that you doing that you ain't supposed to be doing, you need to get that stuff cleaned up. This goes for me too. Cause I gotta watch out. I gotta examine my own self. I gotta make sure, you know, that I'm being a light. I got to make sure, that I'm showing, that I'm not of this world, that people see that I'm different in the sense of, they can see that, okay, he's not one of us, that this is possibly one of Yahweh Shai's people. And I say possibly because I don't know if I'm part of that 144,000 number. That's why I always say, Lord willing, I'm part of that Grateful Glorious number every time I'm giving my introduction. Because Lord willing, I'm part of that Grateful Glorious number. Yeah, man. Hey, it's a beautiful thing to have this truth. But at the same time, it's a very fearful thing, because, once he puts that spirit on you, you got to live this thing out. And then you got to stay strong. Because Satan is always out there prowling. He's out there prowling, and he wants to see who can just catch off guard and destroy him. And speaking of that, I got the scripture right here. 1 Peter chapter 5, this is verse 8 right here. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, Esau Edom, and these spirits, and he's wicked 2/3 out here. So because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. But the God of all grace, which is Yahweh Bashim Shai, who hath called us into this eternal glory by Yahweh Shai, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. Yeah. And he's always out there. That's why it's very important just to wake up every morning. You shouldn't be waking up every morning, getting up out your own bed, not prayed yet. You should be waking up every morning. You should have scriptures, that you always, just say out loud to yourself. You should be praying for protection. You should be praying for, for a grace. You should be praying for all that, man. You shouldn't even walk out your own door and you haven't even prayed, man. Because these kind of times that we living in some unprecedented times, man. We're living in beautiful times, but at the same time, this thing is just going to just happen suddenly. So you don't want to walk out there walking like a fool, like you're all lost in. You ain't got no heavenly protection from Yahweh Bashim Shai. But at the same time, we got to make sure, that we walking right so that we can have that covering, over us. So we got to make sure that we right. And again, that's why I titled this, what are you doing when you are not around the brothers? See, that's the real question. Because, for your own self, if you in this, I don't need to go out there and go figure out. The Lord is already exposing everybody. And it's going to get exposed in due time. So we going to know who's who. But hey, man, those spirits are always out there, because Esau Edom using this damn, harp and, using, what's that other weapon, that they uses, to bring spirits in. I forgot what that shit was fucking called. I forgot what that fucking shit was called. God damn it. But yeah, he had used that fucking, weapon to go bring in other spirits and stuff. Yeah. These devils, man. That's why Job 9:24 says that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Because we are literally living amongst demons. Y'all, we are literally, we are walking amongst demons. And these demons ain't going to stop. They're going to keep going. And these people, man, that's why it's important. That we examine our own selves, that we stay strong, because we got to be able to defend our own selves. It's gonna come to a point, like even now, if you don't know how to defend your own self, you better learn how. You better learn how. Hey, but to those out there, that's truly following Yahweh Bashim Shai. I'm not calling no one out. I'm just saying, man, just to those who's really about this, man. Hey, Yahweh Bashim Shai, just keep doing your thing and just keep on pressing. Push this word. And that is key, man. We got to push this word out. You know, we can't be into that camp beef. I already made a video about that. You know, can't be into this camp beef stuff. This camp beefing, you know, calling this person. Yeah, you know, you got to call someone out, you know, when they doing wrong. But that shouldn't be our sole focus. We need to get this word out. Our people just need to get the word out. And yes, there's going to be the elect in GMS, but there's also going to be the elect inside IUIC, ISUPK, Watchmen for Israel, all these other groups out here. The elect is going to be in there. That's why I said we need to focus on getting the word out. Get the word out. You know, let Yahweh Basham Shai, you know, deal with those, you know, that don't want to deal with this truth. He'll expose them. But get this word out. That's what's important. You know. Because shoot, you know, even when Yahweh Basham Shai comes down, you know, Lord willing, he comes down this year. Lord willing. You know. And if it ain't this year, next year. I mean, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. You know. I don't know every scripture in that Holy Bible. But, you know, we got to understand, too, you know, if we very, very genuine, hey, and you know for your own self, you know, that you're very, very genuine, hey, that's better than being in this truth, you know, and, you know, you out there living double lives and you know that you doing things that you ain't supposed to be doing. I mean, what better are you? Yeah, I mean, you post all these videos, but you're living in wickedness too. You know, so you can't do that. But yeah, I'm going to finish it off here, y'all, with 2 Timothy chapter 2. And I'm sorry right here at that verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Basham Shai. No man that woreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. Yeah, we got to endure like a hard soldier of Yahweh Basham Shai. That's why I said, what are you doing when you ain't around the brothers? Because we got to endure, you know. Yeah, we over here reading and, you know, we're posting videos, but we got to make sure that we out here doing right, too. But we got to keep ourselves strong because there may come a time, man, where, you know, you don't have no one. You know, Yahweh may put you in situations where you ain't going to have nobody. Now what you going to do? Now what are you going to do when you ain't around nobody? Now, guess what? You got to be strong for Yahweh Basham Shai. You got to make sure that you mentally right, emotionally right, spiritually right, physically too, because you may have to defend your own self, which more than likely, I mean, you are. Everybody is. I mean, everybody at some point, you have to defend your own self. But we have to make a stand for Yahweh Basham Shai. We're going to have to confess that we believe in Yahweh Basham Shai. And you have to be genuine about it. Because he's going to put us before governors. He's going to put us before, you know, all these, you know, wicked ass, you know, leaders. And we got to be able to actually confess that, you know, and you want to be genuine about it. But hey, Yahweh Basham Shai, he already knows who the elect are, you know, so he just already knows that. But yeah, y'all, I'm going to do a part 2 to this. I just wanted to bring this out, you know, Yahweh Basham Shai, he put this on my spirit just to go and talk about it. You know, there's more to say, but yeah, I just wanted to bring this out here. You know, just think about it, you know. I mean, what are you doing when you're not around brothers, when you don't have that brotherhood around? I just advise you, man, just keep your spirit strong, you know, and, you know, don't get into a mindset into this bubble, you know, to where all these spirits can start attacking you, start putting stuff in your mind. And, you know, making you lose faith in Yahweh Basham Shai. That's the last thing that you want to do is lose faith and then drop out. Because you drop out, especially if you're in this truth, you don't want Yahweh Basham Shai punishing you. That's the last thing that you fucking want, man. And then he's going to do you worse, you know, especially since he put the spirit on you to go and preach and then you fell out. But yeah, y'all, I was wanting to bring this out, man. Giving our praise to Yahweh Basham Shai. And I'll be coming to you guys with another audio clip soon. Peace.